Hey YouTubers, I'm Jacob. This is a how-to video for rebuilding an EVAP canister on an older vehicle. This is on my 79 Bronco, and these EVAP canisters are no longer in production, so I'm going to have to rebuild it myself. What I have to rebuild it with is some activated carbon, same thing you would have for an aquarium. And then I have some filter material. This is Dicon. You can use any kind of filter material to rebuild. This is all you really need to rebuild it. Also, you're gonna want some Carmatex black you can use to reseal it. I've included links to all the products and tools I'm using in the description below, so make sure to click on those and check them out. I'm posting weekly videos, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow along. All right, let's get into it.
And these brackets, this one came on it. I don't know if it was original or what, but it's just the top screw that's holding the canister in, and wow, yeah, it feels like it's full actually. I don't know, maybe it's full of fuel. It just needs to be redone. So you kind of lift it up on the bracket, pulls off.
Carefully cut along the seam of the canister to open it up. You don't want to break it or cut through the plastic, only separate the seam. It appears that a previous owner rebuilt this canister at one point, and I'm needing to remove the old epoxy sealant along the seam to open it up.
Alright, so I'm gonna dispose of this properly and take it to a waste place that I take all my fluids to. I believe they'll take this. It's saturated with fuel, so I really don't want to just dump it in your trash. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this up and then refill the canister. Alright, so it does look like that these two screens come out. So I'm gonna see if I can push these out really carefully without breaking them. Yep. I'll try and get these cleaned up and start putting it back together. So literally all I'm doing for this is adding some filter material because I believe the one that was on here had just disintegrated. So just overlaying it, cut it out. The big thing for pulling the screen out, to get it loose at least, the picks helped so much. So highly recommend having a pick set for this too. Here's one. So first things first, we got to put our filter screens down in. Definitely some carbon dust. Probably good to wear a mask or just pour slow and be careful. doing this to kind of get it to settle. And I think this line here, about where that plastic ends, is probably the fill line. I'm pretty close to it, just based on this is where that like rusty screen was that was holding it in. And then I'll have a little bit of filter material in there, so I might just top this off with just a little bit more. I think we're pretty much full. I've got my other filter media with the screen here. Slide it down over. Okay, so pretty much there, maybe just a touch more. Okay, I think I was able to push it down a little bit more, just with my fingers there like that, rather than hitting it. I do have the zip tie on here just in case this backs off. It looks like I compressed it maybe just a little bit more than it was, but you can kind of hear it moving around a little bit in there, which is good. I have a little bit of movement. Just test it at the top. All right, seal's on there, so I'm going to use some RTV. And I'm going to RTV on this whole bottom edge, and then we'll go ahead and snap this on, and I'm going to throw a clamp on it, probably like 2 clamps, just to make sure it stays down tight and secure while this dries up. Probably want to let it dry at least an hour before putting it back on, and make sure your edges are all cleaned up. This one's been rebuilt before, so I got to be a little bit careful about scraping these edges because some of it keeps it contained on here. But I've already cleaned it up pretty good, so I think I'm just going to go for it and get this glued up. And I'm using an ultra black gasket maker by Permatex. It's oil resistant, so it should help with oil and fuels so it won't break down. Make sure I get a little bit of squeeze out all over, that way I know for sure I'm getting a good seal. Like that. So we'll give this about a couple hours probably to harden up before reinstalling this, getting the Bronco fired up. It's important to make sure you got all your lines with this connected properly and you seal up all the cracks so that this can actually function properly. So let's go ahead and let this harden up and then get it reinstalled.
Thank you for watching this how-to video on rebuilding an EVAP canister on an older vehicle. This is on my 79 Bronco. I've included links to all the products and tools I'm using in the description below, so make sure to click on those and check them out. Thanks for watching.